Hey guys, I've gotten a few questions via message and email about how elbows and knees fit into the adaptive striking program. So I thought I would make a video or maybe a few videos to give some tips about where they fit in, how to train them, and things like that. There are guys who've built whole careers off of throwing flurries of knees and elbows and things like that. They're considered a street tactic, and to be fair, for good reason. They can deliver a lot of force because you're hitting with something bony. You can cut and you can do a lot of damage with them. But there's no magic move in martial arts. Everything is already out there for people. So what it really comes down to is how you train them, and to make sure that once you've learned to throw them effectively and to throw them in combination, that you also put them into context so that appropriateness is also trained. And that means training it against resistance, against somebody who's trying to stop you, rip you to the ground, or whatever they're doing. So we see when they fit and where they don't. To think that I'll just throw a flurry of elbows and the person won't have any recourse is foolish, and it kind of marks us as somebody who hasn't done enough training. Because if they're thrown too short or you're jammed up, they're not going to do what you want them to do. And I'm also taking my elbows away from my body, so there's a risk once we add in the possibility of takedowns and things like that. So I want to make sure that I'm putting them in a way where they do the most for me and most against my opponent. But because in Red Zone Threat Management we have the good fortune to have somebody who's more of an expert on these kind of things, I'm going to throw all of this to Coach Mitch Langman. He heads up our Australasia portion of Red Zone Threat Management. He runs a fantastic Muay Thai gym in Canberra, Australia. And I would consider him a specialist on this, and I love some of the drills he has, so I thought I'd ask him to share some of that and share some of his insights about this game. So take it away, Mitch.
G'day guys, Mitch here from Dark Carnival. Thank you, Jerry, for throwing over to me. So I run Dark Carnival here in Australia. Predominantly we're a Muay Thai gym, and as such we have a really good understanding of how to deploy elbows, not only in the sporting arena, but for the Red Zone adaptive striking program, and really fleshing out options for when you lose control of that scenario. So the biggest, one of the biggest misconceptions with elbows is that it is very much like a lightsaber, that anything I hit is going to cut. That is completely incorrect. Although elbows are very good at cutting, I do not want to rely on that factor. If it was in that sporting arena and I'm here and anything that I can cut above the eye ridge, the skin is very thin and we're going to get that blood coming to the eye socket, occlude the vision, fight's going to be called off, amazing. However, elbows don't cut everything. We need to make sure that we use it as a short-range bludgeoning weapon, effectively. And this is how it plugs in really well into the Red Zone Prime and the Red Zone Adaptive Striking program. So, when I'm here, I do not want to be in this range, kind of exchanging shots, stepping in and firing these shots and getting these big hectic, that kind of deal. I need to be able to deploy this in that very close tie-on range. So I need to make sure my structure is sound. Effectively what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a clock face 12, 6, 3 and 9. So facing the camera, so 12 o'clock is straight up, 6 o'clock down beneath, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So if my elbow is at 6, I'm going to fire it straight up to that 12 o'clock. My elbow is at 6, and fire it straight up. Ideally what I'm not looking to do though is once again at this long range and fire is going to be in this tight close range here. Regardless of where my opponent's hands are, I need to be able to fire that elbow straight into that center line. If he's in a very tight guard, this is going to split his guard, pop open my target. If we're at range and he's swinging his shots, excellent, I crash in, this also gives me that chance to pop in those elbows and drive them to great effect, and especially open up critical targets. The next elbows I'm going to look at aren't necessarily my 9 o'clock and my 3 o'clock. Regardless of where our guard is, it's not saying that these can't be used. However, I've got a very small chance of being able to wrap around that guard and come around. Mainly just because of the strength of this structure of my opponent's hands. If they're mid-firing and I can time my shot, yes, maybe I can slide through that elbow. But again, I expose myself at the same time. If I get my attack here, this spacing here at 11 o'clock and 10 o'clock, 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock is ideal. So I want the elbow to come up and be able to drive in to the high ridge and temple of my attacker. So, again, the elbow, 6 o'clock, I'm looking at that 10 or 11 o'clock coming up and dropping down, 1 or 2 coming up and dropping down. Excellent.
Awesome. Thanks, Mitch. That was excellent. Okay, guys, so that's a quick wrap on the foundations. Meet us for part 2, and we'll start looking into how to kind of work some mitt work here and see how this integrates into the actual application. So we'll see you on the next one.